Hi darlings, welcome back to my makeup garden. It's Liz. So today we're going to talk about Devinah Cosmetics and some of their shades. So they're currently having their Black Friday sale, which is the largest sale of the year that they do. I think everything's 50% off, or most things are. So I wanted to talk about my favorites for you. And then I also curated some little color stories for you. So why don't we start with the color stories that I curated. And what I'll do is I will put the shade names in the description box for you below, and I will group them by the little 6 pans that I made. Okay, so the first one to talk about, the second one, and then the third. So it's a little bit easier for you to figure out which shades are which, and I will also put a shade description for it. Okay, so let's talk about those first, and then we will talk about the single shadows that have my heart. I wear them all the time. I'm wearing them today, and so we'll do that. So to start off, I made you guys a little pink and green moment, because if you've been here before, you know that I love a pink and green moment. So we have this little color story here. Now this is Karma. I think this is, hold on, I want to look at it. Yeah, Fossick. Oh, it's like that olive green, you know? Oh my Lanta. And then Elphaba, which I know Elphaba is probably having a moment because of Wicked. That's been a whole thing. But then we also have some beautiful shimmers here. So this pink shade is called Luna Storm, and I love this as an inner corner moment because it's got a little bit of a gold. It's not a little bit. It has a gold flip, and it's got a beautiful pink in there. But we also have a light green moment in case you wanted to keep it monochromatic. And this is just a really nice light kind of yellowy green. Hold on, I'll put it on. We'll talk about this shade in a minute, but look, it's just like a really pretty light yellowy spring green. And then Karma is my girl over here. I have broken and repressed the shade. I'm not careful sometimes with my palette. I've knocked her off my desk a couple of times, but she still comes back for more abuse, and we love that about her. Or do we? Huh. Anyway, so editing Liz here. So I didn't realize that this is actually from another company. I don't know how it ended up in my Devinah shades, but it did. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually, for the 6 pan here that I talked about, I'm going to include Chromosphere, which I talked about individually in that, just because I don't like to advertise for this company. And so I'm going to delete this, and I don't know how this ended up mixed in here, but I do know that there's a Devinah shade that is very similar, and I will put it on its name in the description box as well. But yeah, I was like, I don't advertise for this company, and I don't want to include them in a Devinah video because that's just rude. And I don't know how it got mixed in, so I'm going to put this somewhere else now, and we're going to include Chromosphere, and that's what's going to be listed in the description. Okay, so just so you have it, and we're going to skip ahead to the next color story, but I wanted you to know because I like to be honest. Your girl try to be that way. Okay, bye. Pink and green moment. Like I said, I will leave the shade names in the description box for you so that you can just copy and paste to your notes with color stories I loved from my makeup garden, you know, or some such titling. The second color story I built for you is actually just like a very simple nautical kind of a blue vibe. So we have a deeper, cooler tone navy. We have kind of a sky blue, and then just a matte white. A matte white is not to be underrated in a palette. You can really lighten or darken shades as you please. So we have that here, but then we also have this really pretty like light blue moment. And this is kind of one of those subtle ladies that, you know, you don't always recognize just how impactful she can be. But then you look at her and you like, pop off, your majesty. So here we are. And you see there's a little bit of a green, like, and shift to that. I don't know. It kind of comes across. She's subtle, but she's there, you know. Then we have this beautiful little green, or well, I would call this a teal. But it is blue, as you can see. And then paired with that dark blue color, it's just really beautiful. I like the contrast of it. Here, let me swatch the dark blue next to it so you can see. Now this dark blue is kind of one of those that almost has like slate. It's almost like a slate, but together you get a little bit of that dimension, you know. I like a dimensional look. Okay, And I am wearing a little bit of this on my outer corner today, mixed with some purples. So, which is really subtle on screen, but in person, it's more substantial. Does that make sense? Okay. But anyway, and then for this one, I like a copper and dark blue moment. Not everyone will. Really, this is for me. But this coppery shade here, this one is called, I never remember the name of it. Oh, Centaurus. Like the star. But like it's just a really pretty copper with a little bit of a gold flash there. I'm here for it. So, all right. And last but not least, we have kind of a purple moment, but I wanted to include a shifty yellow. And that's the shade that I already wiped off the back of my hand that I will now put back on my head. It's called Polar. I think it's called Polar Bear. Let's look. Hold on. Polar something. Hold, please. Polar Eclipse. Oh, that's catchy. I see what they did there. All right. So we'll just use my pinky for this one. But it's yellow, like a real yellow actually. But it has like a pink flip to it. Here. See? That pink purple flash that just pairs really nicely. Hold on, I'm making a mess of things. That pairs really nicely with the pinkish purples, these lilac-y kind of vibes. And then I love a green and purple moment. I put those together for that reason. And then this little shade here is called Frozen Waves. And I think this is from, it's a collection that came before Mystic Cove. But here, let me just show you. Right. Okay, hold on. My hands are covered in sparkles. Already, we're off to a good start. Let me just do this. So you can see it's purple, but it also has like a flash of blue and then kind of like this silvery vibe. And I think the colors just pair well together. But I wanted to put together some cohesive color stories so you could give yourself a little context. If you're not good with single shades, like I was not good with single shades, especially when I first started playing with makeup, and I wanted to incorporate that because of that. Because sometimes it's hard to have the vision when everything is on a different page on a website. And I struggle with that. I love recommended color stories for that reason. So it helps me put together something cohesive in my brain. But I will list those in the description box for you so that you don't have to do the work. You're welcome. Okay, so let's talk about some single shades from Devinah that if you just want one or two things that maybe these are shades that you would consider just because I find them to be a little bit more special. They're certainly special in my collection. You can tell which ones are truly, closely, regularly loved. And which ones are kind of like my special occasion bitches, you know? So the first thing, she is an everyday hoe, and that is the specular eye base here. I use this for pretty much every shimmer look that I do. I love using a glitter glue. It is something that I did not do at the beginning of my makeup journey, and it's something that I value. Look, I'm already covered in sparkles. But it is something that I value now. And I use this, it's normally I think like 10 or 11 bucks. It's not that expensive, but it is really worth using. It has this clear applicator tip. You can see exactly where the product is and where it's going. And then I just like to tap it on. But I want to show you the difference because on more subtle shades, it can make a big difference. Let's use this on the back of my hand, okay? So we'll put this here. I'll just tap some on it. I grabbed too much. This is as much as I would use for both eyes. Like a little bit goes a long way, okay? So I'm putting this just along the bottom of my knuckles here. We'll give this a moment to dry, and then I will show you the difference on a little bit more of a subtle shade because it really does make a difference. So hold on. All right. So I'm gonna grab, with this 2 different fingers, I'm gonna grab this shade. Actually, let's grab this shade here, okay? Okay, same color, same 2 different fingers, but without the primer, it's here, right? And she's still beautiful. She's beautiful, but with the primer. Do you see the difference? Okay, here. It's not all the way dry yet, but you're picking up what I'm laying down, right? So the difference, that's what it would be, and that's what it is. So the intensity, it definitely changes the intensity. I wanted to show you guys that because that's more of a little bit more of a subtle shade, more of like a topper, or like an accent shade. So I wanted you to see. Okay, So let's talk about some single shades. These are my ladies. This one's Jill. This one, no. If you know, you know. Okay. Fingers are generally wiped off. We're going to swatch these on this hand, and I'm going to do my best to keep things neat for you, okay? So the first shade that we're going to talk about is this one. It's called Galeen. It is a cooler purple, has a little like a pink flash to it. It is very pretty. All right, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to try to swatch this. We're going to swatch these on the back of my left. This is my left. You might see it as the right, but it's my left hand here. So here's what it looks like on my finger. And then this one's here. Okay, so you can see no primer, no nothing, just pretty, right? Pretty, right? So that is called Galeen. Okay. Second shade is called Skylla, S-C-Y-L-L-A. I absolutely adore this, especially for inner corner. I'm wearing it on my inner corner today. It is the most beautiful gold with like green fleck with, I don't know, a little bit of flash of pink in there. I love this. Here, let's just do this together. I love this on my inner corner. It is the most beautiful. You can see that pink there. It is the most beautiful inner corner color. All right. I think that one is also from Mystic Cove. I could be wrong. There were two that came out like right next to each other. And damned if I can remember. I didn't look. I should have looked. Okay. The third shade we are going to talk about is this one here. This is called Palamon. This is actually what's all over my lid today. It looks blue in the pan, and then on the lid, it looks kind of purple, but then it flashes blue, and then there's a little bit of pink in there. It is confusing to my brain. You can see that this one is well loved. This is actually the second one. I almost completely used up a first one. It's floating around here somewhere, but this is Palamon, and let me, P-A-L-A-E-M-O-N. And like I said, I'll have the list in order in the description box for you, okay? But like this shade, see what I mean? It is, my brain cannot exactly compute what this shade is. It is always lost. I'm just like, la, la, la. Oh, I forgot to show you on the finger here. Here, on the finger. See the blue and the pink? It's like cotton candy. Like when you go to a baseball game and they have that pink and blue cotton candy together. It's like that, but sparkly. I don't know. But here it is, like on the hand. It is so unique. Here, let me just do that. I already had it on my finger. Might as well put it to swatchy use, you know? Okay. Moving on. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's talk about Chrome. It is the most metallic-y, it's like green liquid metal is how I would describe this. Let me put it on for you. It just, need I say more? Okay, need I say more? Look at the light. Ay. Just like, she is the moment. This is Chromosphere. I absolutely adore this. Especially with like a green smoky, I love an olive smoky eye. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's go over here. Let's grab this shade here. This is called Thusa. Thusa is also one of the Mystic Cove ones. And Thusa looks pink on the screen. But then Thusa is also kind of purple and also kind of blue. And I will show you what I mean here. See, like there's pink and there's like silvery, but then Thusa, let's just let Thusa, okay? Thusa also kind of blue, like, right? Like I don't need to say more. It looks, she's just very, yeah. Now codes don't work during the sale. I do have a code with Devinah. It's Garden. And it's just a savings code. I wonder if they have an affiliate program now. I should probably apply for that. Maybe. But they do not accept codes during the sale because the sale is a really good deal. It's more than a code would ever save you, but yeah. Okay. So that was Thusa. All right, now we're going to talk about Electra. And Electra, she a little bit shocking, and I'll show you why. Because it looks like this, but then it always ends up looking gold on my eye looks. And I always think, oh yeah, but see that gold flash? That is prominent. Okay, so let's watch her. And in case you missed it, I do have a microfiber cloth I've been wiping my fingers off in between, just to try to keep things neat. Okay, so if you're like, Liz, how are your fingers clean? We're trying to do this all in one take, okay? So this is Electra. That gold is so prominent with that pink flash, but here, let me figure out how to do this. Where I don't waste space. That's gonna be crooked. That's gonna bother all of us, I understand. It's okay. But like, when I put this on my inner corner, Electra almost always looks like that gold. And yet, here we have prominent sparkle, big flash, pink base, super pretty. Okay, that was Electra. This is Swirling Waters, and she is very blue. She's just a very pretty blue, okay? See what I mean? She's just a very pretty blue, but it's very Caribbean. See, I live in Florida, and the reason I wanted to show her is because there's different kinds of like flash, and these two shades in person, you can see the shift in this one, but they have a similar type base. But then you put this one on, and then she is just like a pretty blue. Little bit of greenish gold in there. But like, at least that's what comes across for me. But yeah, you can see just that. Yeah. Okay. On the finger, you can see it. Okay. But yeah, that was Swirling Waters. The next one, whole different vibe. Spooky vibes all the way. I think this was their Halloween launch like last year. But Blood Moon. Remember when like the reds were having a moment? I think Blood Moon is one of those shades that could translate to Christmas looks really prettily if done right. So this is Blood Moon, okay? Blood Moon is like coppery and burgundy, and yeah, we'll swatch her and you'll see, okay? Right? It's like black based, but like red, but like coppery. Here's a swatch. You can see like all the different, I don't know, but there's almost like a flash of green in there. But yeah, this one's Blood Moon. Okay. And one more for you. One more shade. It's going to be this one here. This is called Amphitrite. Okay. I think I spelled that right. Yeah. Amphitrite. Yeah. And we'll just, let me show you. Okay. Gorge, the most beautiful inner color, like inner corner shade, but also like put it on top of, oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. This over a black base looks really interesting too. If you put shades over a black base, like a black eyeshadow base, it can completely transform the shade. Do I have one in front? Damn, I don't have one in front of me. But yeah, just trust me. Experiment with your bases and your shadows, because you don't know what something is going to look like until you put it on and you're like, oh shit. This is one of those. Okay, but yeah. So these are my single shade recommendations. I will include these in the description box for you as well, just so that you have them and you can see them. All right. The sale, it said it was going on for 5 days. I think it actually ends on Black Friday. Today is the 25th, and I think it's the first day of the sale. But I wanted to get these out to you because they're really sparkly. Like, very sparkly. I happen to love Devinah Cosmetics, and I would hate for you to miss out on their sale just because you weren't sure about something. So those are my shade recommendations. Tell me if you've tried Devinah in the description, well, in the comments below. Tell me if you've tried them, what you like, what you don't like, and I appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one. And in case you weren't sure, Devinah is an independently owned makeup company. They are an indie brand. They manufacture their own eyeshadows. And it's just a brother-sister duo, and they just kick ass and take names. So I love your face, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!